sort of feel bad for Ezra Klein, because I think there was like this expectation that Harris is going to win the election.
Yeah.
And this was going to be part of like the big neoliberal pushback on the success that Sanders and Warren had in pushing their agenda into the Biden administration, which was greater labor strength and a more robust antitrust regime that would undermine consolidated economic power, which of course also has translated into consolidated political power. And the way that I think, and I don't know that Ezra Klein was the, you know, I don't think he was the mastermind behind this. I think it was obviously, it's like you can go back and you can look at it. It was like the Nicholson Institute and Cato, I think was a little bit there. I mean, it's like the third way, neoliberal in the most specific way. The idea that the market will provide solutions for society if government is not in the way. And this is an
Yeah, so that's just renaming neoliberalism. That's what abundance is.
ideology that was, you know, has been prominent for 40 years in this country. And then Harris doesn't win. And then, like, Klein in many instances, he hasn't engaged in sort of the politics in the same way that he had for years before. But his whole brand was to be to provide analysis that was divorced of ideology and not influenced by political pressure.
Right.
And that shtick worked for a while until people started becoming aware, and people became more aware, and, you know, frankly, the terrain changed where people started to understand, like, that supposed absence of ideology isn't in and of itself an ideology.
It's not possible when you're talking about politics.
Well, also, the idea that any of this technical, you know, that supposed, like, policy stuff is divorced from politics is also silly. But, like, he has an ideology because he's not necessarily going in the way. And then there's also this question of, like, there's not many generalists like Klein. Like, he cut his teeth by becoming like the generalist expert at healthcare. That was what his big thing was in the run up to the ACA stuff. And it's like, you know, look, I know a lot about Social Security, but if I'm sitting next to someone who's worked on Social Security policy, they know more. But nobody's going to listen to that guy. That guy doesn't have a show.
Right.
That guy's not an op-ed columnist. And so this is sort of, there's a couple of like clips that are out there now of Klein, where one was where he was talking about with Jon Stewart, where he was talking about in the Inflation Reduction Act, there was a provision to expand broadband. And he goes on and on, like, there was so many roadblocks put up by the Democrats in that legislation that the Democrats have to get out of their way. And then one.
So it was basically just a giant government bad fest, and the right wing seized on that and used it to just bludgeon the left and be like, regulation bad, government bad, Biden bad, look at this.
Of Biden's national economic advisors goes like, dude, that was the Republicans.
Yeah.
That was a concession we made to the Republicans to get this bill passed. Like, there's concurrent reporting that show that was what the ask was. Republicans are always, and they'll use regulation as a means to do it, but they're always putting roadblocks up there to prevent corporations from being directed to do stuff. And again,
wow, that is damning. Ezra Klein, that's not a good look.
Those corporations, incidentally, those cable outlets, what do they have in every region? It's a monopoly. And he would get away with that if we were in a different era where somebody couldn't hop on Twitter and go, dude, there's reporting. And Jon Stewart's not supposed to know that.
Right.
And here is another instance where he is on Crooked Media. He's being asked what is like not necessarily like a particularly difficult question.
Although Favreau here does read a very good critique of this book by Zephyr Teachout, who is of the anti-monopolist wing that Sam just kind of described.
Yeah.
So yeah, they go on to show this clip. But yeah, Ezra Klein is not providing himself a good look. He is not out there promoting original ideas. He's promoting neoliberalism. It's not really an original idea to be like, look, I'm on the left and I want Democrats to win, but government bad, regulation bad. This should be the new mantra of the Democratic Party. Look at how much regulation hurts things. And I mean, it's kind of malpractice to go on there with Jon Stewart and act like you're teaching him a lesson and have Jon Stewart go, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And then, you know, you get fact checked and it's like, oh, the Republicans just wanted this. You know, this isn't a Republican thing. This is a Democratic thing, but it's being tanked by the Republican Party, and their regulation they're throwing in there to try and help the corporations, because that's what Republican policy does. Help the corporations. Leftist policy, help regular people through the government. So yeah, I appreciate this calling out sort of on Sam Seder's part, because I didn't even know this about Ezra Klein and that discourse with Jon Stewart. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, or subscribe. This is the more the merrier. I look forward to speaking to you in my next video.